So take your tins in your hands, wrap your hands around them, or your weights, obviously. Feet hip width apart on the mat, toes pointing forwards. Lift and spread your toes a little bit, push them down into the mat gently. Soften your knees slightly. Scoop and tuck your bottom under, roll and drop your shoulders. Good. Softening the knees means a little bit of tension in your thighs. Squeeze your glutes a little bit. Remember to use your abs to tuck and scoop and tuck your bottom under. Broaden and open out your chest without lifting up your ribs. Make sure the ribs are still down. Tuck the chin, lengthen up at the back of the neck, and then palms facing up with the tins in your hands or weights, of course. Take your hands out to the side and back to the front again. Side and back to the front. Good. Keeping the shoulders down. Great. And it just gives you that little bit of force through your hands, I guess. They're not going to feel too heavy at the moment, but when we do all these lovely repetitions in different positions, stretched up and out and all of that, then you'll really notice it. Great. Take your hands out, stretch out, elbows in, hands back together. Hands out, arms out, in, back together. Keeping the shoulders down, chin tucked. Good. Keep going. And one more. Lovely. Take the hands out, arms out, grip the tins, turn down and back up. Good. And that little bit of weight at the end of a long lever, which is your arms, will hopefully mean you have to work around the shoulders, around the back. Good. Keep going. Elbows in, hands back together. Okay, hands out, arms out, rotate to the right. Good. Back to the front, elbows in, hands back together. Hands, arms, rotate to the left. Good, and that back should feel a little bit stiff, I'm sure. Make sure you keep your hips pointing forwards. So really forcing those hips to stay pointing forwards, and you're just rotating around the spine.
All right, turn off another.
Good. Keep going. And then the other side. Nice, so I'm sure you're feeling the shoulders just that little bit more than normal. Let's have the weights on the shoulders, or the tins on the shoulders. Stretch up and down. Now stretching up, the ribs often want to follow. So try and keep the ribs down at the same time. Stretch up and down. Good. Straightening the elbows all the way. It's rare people push and straighten the elbows the whole way. So focus on that a little bit. Straighten and push those up. Ribs down, scooping in the tummy. Tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Good. Good, keep the arms up, bend and straighten. It feels really awkward to start with, so this is more triceps. The other one was more, what was it? Shoulders, I suppose. So this is more triceps, bend and straighten. Scooping in your tummy, tucking the bottom under, pushing those ribs down. Good. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Bring them down. This should be a little bit of relief to let those come down. So we're coming backwards now. This is why I'm facing in this direction. Scooping the bottom under, stretching back and forwards. Back and forwards. You're not going to go very far without sort of tipping forwards like that. Good. Nice. Trying to keep the body stable and still as you do that. Great work. Good. 3, 2, 1. Great. So we're squatting down, bringing the tins up in front of us, or weights. Squat down, sit your bottom back into it and swing up. Or lift the arms up in front. Good. Keep going. Okay. Sitting back into your heels. And squeezing everything on the way up. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs, squeeze your thighs on the way up. Think of a movement as being the most dynamic on the way back up. Lowering down, squeezing everything on the way up.
Good.
Lowering down, squeezing the way up. Good. Last one. Nice. Okay. Pulling up onto the toes, bending the elbows at the same time. Catch your balance. Pull up onto the toes and down. Good. Drawing up onto the toes and lowering back down. For some reason, I think this gives you a bit more balance. Good.
I've got your phone here.
Scooping in something. Okay. Good. Keep breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. Couple more. Lovely. Palms up in front of you. I just want you to rotate down and up. Soften the knees, tuck your bottom under, rotate down and back up. Down and up. Brilliant. Drop the shoulders, tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Brilliant. 3, 2, 1. Actually, I wouldn't feel much on that one, but trust me, it probably is doing a little bit of work around those wrists and the elbows and that kind of thing. Great. Stepping the legs out, toes pointing out, knees following and pointing out in the same direction. If your knees won't rotate out very far, then make sure your toes don't rotate out quite so far. Bend both knees and stretch down your knees with your tins. Lift one heel at a time. Good. Keep working through your abs. Keep working through your hips to try and keep the hips level. Brilliant. Dropping the shoulders, chest nice and open. Great. And you should be using those glutes a little bit. And of course the foot and ankle muscles as well as you're lifting onto the toes there. Good. And a tiny bit of extra weight at the end of your hands will be doing something, I'm sure. Good. Lovely. Tins together. Straight up above the head, squat down, swing your tins, and what you expected to hear, and back up, swing down, and back up, knees pointed out. Good, be careful not to go past the neutral, just straight up each time. Knees out, straight up, ribs down. Good, keep breathing. Nice. 2 more. And last one. Beautiful. Okay, coming to the end of your mat. Toes pointed forwards. Good. Weight back a little bit through the heels. Roll the shoulders, drop them down. Breathing in, breathing out and curling all the way down. Now the tins are fantastic, but pushing and rolling them forwards in front of you like that. Good. And then come back. Now, I understand not everybody will be in this position to have their fingertips on the tins and be able to roll them forwards. But if you can do, if you can't, you can do a little bit of a swing forwards here, like this. Good. and come back. Last one. Good, and come back. Now, I would like you to come onto your hands and knees. You can weight bear on one tin, or you could just put your hand on the floor, to be honest. And with the other arm, we're going to do some triceps, like so. Okay, so you're weight bearing through one arm, your knees are hip width apart, and you're straightening out. 1, 2, 3. Push all the way straight. That's where you get that pinch through the tricep, which makes you realise that you're working it. 9. 2 more. Lovely. Bring that hand to the floor. Weight bear on the tin or just next to it. It's just fine. Good. And the other one. 1, 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. One hand on the floor, so we're swapping arms again. I would like you to pulse up at the front. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to the side. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Good. And behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. Other arm, of course. Stretch up to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to swivel around, so I haven't got enough room. Sideways. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, they're tiring. Just adding that extra little bit of weight. Lovely. So, arms out in front with the tins. Pull them into the chest as you curl back off the sitting bones. Pulling up tall and pushing them out in front. But don't row forwards, just come up tall. Curl back, scoop under, and pull up tall as you stretch out in front again. 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9, 10. Now put the tins on the floor at the sides and push them forwards. So roll your hands forwards. Good. Just gives you a chance to do a tiny little bounce at the end of the range there. Nothing too drastic, nothing too aggressive. Just a tiny bounce forwards like that. Good. Weights out in front of you. Curl back, scoop in, pin your legs together. And then we're going up and down with the arms, trying to keep that lower tummy scooped in at the same time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's bend the knees again. Have the feet on the floor. I want the tins together. Curl back, scoop in, just like we did. And let's see if we can just tap the tins one side and tap the other side there. Tap, pushing them together the whole time. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's very delicate. Let's go to 20. Just completed 14 now. 17, 18, 19, 20. Lovely. Bring your legs forwards and stretch. Great. So coming down onto your back. Good. Curling down, feet hip width apart. toes pointing forward. Let's have the tins next to us, just in case I randomly decide we're going to pick them up and use them for anything. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Settle yourself in the position. Toes forwards, feet hip-width apart. Tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Broaden out through the chest. Push your shoulders down away from the ears. Sink the ribs down into the floor. Find a little arch in the back, maybe by rocking backwards and forwards. Feeling that range in the pelvis, settle somewhere in between. Tighten through the pelvic floor, maybe think about pulling the hip bones together. Draw the belly button towards the spine slightly, and then just lifting and lowering alternate legs. Good. And I'm going to leave you doing that one because I've left the guinea pigs outside, those dumb guinea pigs that always seem to come into these sessions. But we have had a fox prowling around and I can't keep my eye on them. So I'm going to go and get them in. The babies. Anyway, so lowering one knee to the side and come back up. And because you haven't had me on at you during that exercise, remember, tuck the chin, broaden the chest, ribs down, little arch in the back, lowering one knee out and then the other. Don't let the hips rock from side to side. Try and keep those headlights pointing straight up. Or think about a tray on here of drinks, keeping it stable. Great. Think about the leg that's on the floor being the one that's doing the work. And the other leg is just like a lever, just like a counterweight, trying to push you off balance. Great. Slide one leg out, pulling the toes up, tense the thigh, and come back in. Push the other leg out, stretch away, and come back in. Pushing away, pulling the toes up. Good. Trying to keep the arch in the back, trying to keep the pelvic floor switched on. Draw in through your tummy. Good. One more each side. Fantastic. Hands behind your head. Tuck through the chin. Keep the elbows nice and wide, but the ribs down. Draw up to crunch, and then crunch that little bit further down to the count of 2 as well. So you come as far as you think you can go, and then you crunch that bit more, and then down to the count of 2. Keep going. Up. Good. So you're really engaging those abdominals, but you almost have to crunch just as much with your back muscles as you do with your abdominals. Good. Two more. And last one. Fantastic. Head and shoulders down, chest open, ribs down. Good. We're going to bring the right leg up and then engage those muscles that we've really just worked. We've just engaged them, just warmed them up. Right leg up, squeeze, pick up the left, right down, left down. So you should have a great idea of which muscles you need to be using now in order to stabilize through the spine as you do this movement. Great. Keep scooping in your tummy. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Nice and relaxed, but stable. So relaxed, but holding things nice and firm. Hard to get those two at the same time, but that is pretty much what Pilates is all about. Good, starting with the other leg first. Brilliant. Keeping that chin tucked, chest open, ribs down. 2 more. Great. So let's have our tins again. Good. Have them on the fronts of our knees. And I want us to do some crunches as you're rolling the tins up the knees like that. Depends how slidey your leggings are, but to be honest, if you're wearing leggings, that is, if you push them into your knees, that gives you that extra little bit of force. Good. So you're crunching and down. Trying to maintain that little arch in the back again the whole time. Good. If they are sliding around a bit too much, just get hold of them and slide them up and down. Good. 3, 2, 1. Fabulous. Roll the head from side to side. So do understand if we're not supporting our head on those crunches that you will generally feel them that little bit more. Good. So with the arms, we're coming straight up and scooping around. I haven't got through this. I'm going to come on a diagonal. Straight up and scoop around. We're not doing any crunches quite yet. Just straight up with the arms and scoop around in as big a circle as you've got enough room to do. Straight up and scoop around. Straight up and scoop. Ah! Straight up. Scoop around, bend at the elbow if you need to. And scoop. Up and scoop. Okay, enough of that one. Too much in the way. Bring your heels towards your bottom and we're tucking under, curling up. Arms go straight up above the head. Really squeeze through the glutes. And then curl back down again and arms come to the front again. Tucking under, curling up. And down. 2 more, breathing in as you curl up. Breathing out as you curl back down. Last one of these, breathing in. Good. And breathe out as you curl back down. Curl all the way up, arms stay up above the head there, and take one knee out to the side and back up, and then the other knee sideways. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and go again. 2, 3, 4. More power in the glutes when the arms are up above the head because they can't stabilize. Last 2. And curl back down and bring the weights or the tins down by your sides again. Good. Okay, so legs up to tabletop, hands behind your head, and crunch. We're stretching the right leg out and rotate to the left. Come back in and pause, and then go to the other side. 2, 3, clunk. 5, click your knees today. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's try and do another 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8. Supporting the head. 9, 10. Lovely. Bring your knees in. Great stuff. Okay. Bring your feet down to the floor there. Cool. And we're going to take the weight into one hand, or the tin into one hand behind the head on the other side. We're going to crunch, stretch that arm down, and we're coming up and down. It's got to be a little bit slower than the usual hundreds that we do. You can't, with the weights on the end, you can't do those fast. So up, down, like that. Really keeping control around your tummy, elbow nice and wide, and stretching that arm down as far as you can with the weight in your hand, of course. Let's do 10 more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely. Coming back down. Grab hold of the other weight, other hand behind your head. Crunch, set yourself in that nice position, other arm down by your side. You can have your head and shoulders down on this exercise, of course. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, keep going. Nice and controlled, just up, down, up, down. And last 10. 10. Lovely. You'll be feeling it with these, this little bit of extra weight here. It is quite surprising. Elbows wide, and we're just pushing up in front of us, and then the elbows come down to the floor. Reset the rest of your positioning, toes forwards. Find the little arch in the back, tighten through the pelvic floor, tuck through your chin. Good. So relatively easy as far as arm weights are concerned, but as soon as you set the rest of the body, you will be aware of things working that you weren't quite aware of before. Good. Palms facing each other, even though you've got the weights in your hands. One up and one down, like that. Good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's continue with the legs up as long as you feel comfortable to. You can keep the legs down if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Both arms are up in front, your legs can come down. Bend the elbows, tap your shoulders with the tins and come back up. 2, 3, 4. The elbows stay put, keeping your abs strong. 10. So like I say, there's not a lot going on around the arms there, but quite often it's a matter of holding the rest of the body as still as you can. So tuck your hip back there on your side, prop your head in your hand, tuck your ribs backwards. Tucking the hip back, like I said, I think it was a bit too quick to say that. Scoop and tuck your bottom under, using your abs to do so. Use in here to scoop and tuck your bottom under. Push your top knee away. Tin on top of your knee. Lifting and lowering. Now you can have a nice open hand there, and the tin will roll a little, maybe, as you lift up the knee. Good. Scooping in your tummy. Good, keep going. Again, it adds that little bit of weight on the end of the knee. It's not a lot, but you will probably feel it already. The further down the leg that tin is, the more you'll feel it. The further along the lever it is. So have it by your fingertips there. Brilliant. Bring your feet up and continue. This is where you might end up rolling the tin a little bit more. Keep your abs strong. Keep your arms strong as well. Lovely. Bottom leg down, keep the top leg up and forwards and backwards. And you can take the tin with you like that. 2, 3, 4, the other way, 5, that works better. 6, 7, 8, 10. Now stretch the leg out. Good. And pulse up and down. 9, 10, another 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely. Bring that leg down. Good. Pushing back up. Over to the other side. Cool. So as much thought goes into it on this side, tucking the ribs back, tucking the hip back, everything rocking slightly forwards, tucking your bottom under, top knee pushed slightly away there, feet one on top of the other, good. And then your tin, reaching down the leg and lifting that knee. Good. Scooping in your tummy, tucking the bottom under. Keep breathing. Brilliant. Feet up to hip height. And keep going. Rolling that in a little bit this time. Lovely. Now, maybe turn this in if you want to, and then forwards and backwards with that leg. Remember to keep everything strong on this one. The leg is swinging forwards and backwards, and you want to keep strong through your waist. Just stop it. Good. Now stretching the leg out, holding the tin on there. 1, 2, 3. Keeping stretching as far as you can away with that hand as well. Brilliant. Okay, let's sit up and stretch those off. So crossing the legs and leaning forwards into it a little bit. And side to side, of course. Great. So from this position, hook one leg round to the side. With the tin on the side, you can roll it along like this. So we're going to do our mermaid stretch with one hand on a rolly tin and the other one here. Okay, you can't go too far. So if you go all the way out like that, it's quite a lot of work through those lats. Now, if you've got anybody here who is particularly strong, maybe those that do CrossFit or something, you might be able to go all the way out. I certainly struggle with it. So gauge it. Go slowly to start with. How far can you roll out on that tin? Good. How far can you roll out? Good. Keep it comfortable. 2, 3. You might feel like you've got to work that leg a little bit more. 4, 5, 6. Take your time. You might get a little bit further each time. Nice. Side. Swap the legs around. Turn that tin onto its side. Good. Make sure this hip stays down a little bit. Good. And start off small again, because we're going back again to the original movement. You've got to start off small, get used to it. 2, 3, great. 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, a little bit further each time. 8. 2 more. 9. 10. Great. Okay. Still staying on our side. Get rid of that tin though. So the full movement, we've done this one recently. The full movement is all the way up and out like that, swinging down and up. Now I understand that might be a little bit too much. It is a bit easier on the elbow there. You've got to bend this arm to come through. And of course, you can have both knees bent and on the floor like that, coming down and up, both on the elbow or both knees there on the hand. That's probably the easiest version on the hand with the knees down. Okay, so I've gone through those in hardest to easiest. So I'm going to do the full version because I like to torture myself, and pick the version you like, and you can change between them as we go. We'll just do 10 on each side. So pushing up, stretching out. 1, 2, 3. Regretting it now. 2 more. Hear my voice go wobbly. That's when you know I'm struggling. The side. There's no harm if you found it particularly hard on that side and you don't think you can do the other side the same, especially if it's your weaker side. There's no harm in going down a level on the other side. It'll all equal out. So coming up, off we go. 1, 2. Oh, easier. It's my right arm. 6, 7, 8, 10. Lovely. Well done. How are we doing? Oh, 5 minutes to stretch. Perfect. So with tins in hands, why not? Stretch them straight up on one knee, lunging forwards into it. Good. Scooping and tucking under and stretching up at the same time. Good. Sit back onto that heel. Put your tins either side of you and you can put your hands down on them. Sit all the way down into that heel if you want to. I tend to these days prefer just this half stretch back. Great. Swap sides. Other foot up. Pick up the tins. Push straight up. Scooping and tucking your bottom under and lunging a little bit forwards into it. Drop the shoulders, straighten the elbows, and lunging forwards. Good. And then sit back into the heel. All the way down if you prefer. Halfway like me if you prefer that. Maybe it's quite nice to have a couple of tins to weight there on. Lovely. Turn the tins over so they're on the rolly side. Sit back into your heels and push your hands forwards like that. This gives you the opportunity with your weight through the tins there to drop your shoulders down to the floor a little. And your forehead. Good. And it's more of a stretch than if the arms are just relaxed on the floor. So pushing the arms forwards and away from you. Good. Breathe in and out. Good. Just move them to the sides. Push the hands forwards and drop the hips down. Good. I don't mind if those hips are not on the floor. I would just prefer that your elbows are straight and you're pushing yourself up and away. Good. Down onto your front. Bend one knee and pull the heel towards your bottom, stretching that quad. Good. And then the other side. Bend the other knee and stretch the quad on that side. Great. Sitting back up. And find a comfortable position, whether it's crossed legs or sitting on your heels or sitting on a chair. I just wanted to stretch through the neck, so take the right hand, pull the head over to the side and push the shoulder and the arm down on the other side. You can sit on your hand if you want to. Breathe in and breathe out. And then to the other side. Sit on the hand if you need to. Taking the head over to the other side. Lovely. Hands clasped behind the head, elbows wide. Breathe in, breathe out and tuck the chin, curl the head down. Breathing in, open out the arms. Breathe out and come down. Breathe in again, open out through the arms. Breathe out and come down. Stretch your right arm up, reach down your back, and then push into it. Now use your thumb to push down into the arm. So you're bending, you're closing the elbow there. Fingertips reached here, thumb on the other side, pushing into it with the thumb. That intensifies that stretch through the tricep. Always sitting up tall. Other side. Around the front and the thumb pushing and closing the elbow. Good. Stretching up, round and down. Okay, well done. I hope you enjoyed the session with the tins. Something a little bit different. I think we needed it.